Well, Mark, 36 hours or so after the events of Wednesday night, has it been a case of picking up the players more than anything ahead of another tough test on Saturday?
You shouldn't really pick it up. You've been beaten at home. We've been beaten, we're losing 1-0 a game. We're in it 80 minutes, and the last 10 minutes is unacceptable for us as a group of players and staff. So stop picking it up. It should be a professional response. It should be an anger and a frustration, and you've got to channel that in the right way. Derby got beat 3-0 at Fulham. They'll be looking for a strong reaction. So will we. So it's going to be two teams very eager to correct what they see as poor performances.
From the outside, people might have looked at it and seen the red card in the second half and thought that might have had some say on the result, but you were keen afterwards to say that irrelevant of the red card, that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, because you don't look at excuses. The fact is, I thought the red card was very, very harsh. Grant's on the cover. It's a yellow for me. I don't ever want to see a player sent off, but I thought Matty Cash, a great lad. It was a poor tackle on Ryan Manning, which goes to the yellow. It does change the dynamic of the game. But from 50th to 80th minute, we deal with it, have more possession, great chance with Josh's head, a good one, and we're in the game. So it's no excuses for the last 10 minutes. And the last 10 minutes we were sloppy, loose, and gave away goals. From 1-0 in the game to being beaten 4-0 at home, unacceptable. Every player, every staff member knows that. So the red card changed the dynamic of the game in the 50th, but was no excuse for what happened after 81.
As you said, no excuse, and you said that isn't QPR, the performance that the fans saw on Wednesday night. What will you be looking for from the players from this weekend?
You look for professional performance. You look for players in any job. You take responsibility. The more you get paid, the more responsibility you adopt, and the more accountable you are. So every player, every staff member is accountable. I'm manager. I'm accountable. That's how it works. So we have to look at it, and we know our own professional standards, individually and collectively. You have responsibility to yourself, to your teammates, to the fans. That goes for every player and every club. So you have to recognise it and embrace it. That's the job. On Wednesday night from 81 to 91, we didn't embrace it. So we have to respond and recognise what we face, a very talented team with a good home record who are looking to, in their mind, correct their wrong. They got beat at Fulham, so they will be very keen in front of their fans. We know what we face, but it's an opportunity very quickly for us to correct that.
There's another game where we've conceded, not kept a clean sheet, as I know you get asked after every game. Yeah. What would you say to those who perhaps are pointing fingers at the likes of Joe Lumley in your defence?
All I would say is, and I say it, and people ignore it because it's ignorance if they ignore it. I'm saying that very, very clearly. Is that you look at a team, it's easy to go his fault. The fact is we do it together, and if you can take a process back, I've said it many times, I keep saying it. If we look after a ball in a certain area, if we press well in the right areas at the right time, the rest doesn't happen. If we block a cross, then the defender can't be accused of missing a header, and on it goes. So it's about us as a team. That's the responsibility I refer to. Do your job. Go and do your job really well. Do the basics outstandingly well, and we're a very good team. There's loads of quality in the dressing room. We've shown that already. We've had very good spells of games, but we have to be more consistent first to last whistle. But it's about responsibility, knowing your job. That's what you get paid for in any walk of life, and that goes for every player here and every staff member here.
We've seen Dylan Barnes on the bench in recent weeks, so into the injury to Liam. What's the situation in the goalkeeping department?
Liam's probably 2 or 3 weeks away. He had a nasty one, but he's working hard. He's out on the grass now, which is great to see. Medical team done a superb job with all the players, but looking after Johan, who's now very, very close to coming back. But in Liam's case, probably a couple of weeks. Dylan's a guy who's responding really well. Come in from a low level with the potential we see him going forward, but he's still a young guy and he's got a lot to learn, but he's doing tremendously well. Delighted for him. Liam's injury means he steps up sooner than we expected, but as I say, he's got a lot of work to do. But if he was called upon, he's got the ability to step in and do a job for us. But as I say, it's about looking after the young players. Don't throw them in too early. You can do that and you can damage them, and you have to look after young players. But delighted the way he's responded, got a great character, works really hard, he's getting better week on week. So I look forward to seeing him obviously in the future, but right now if called upon, no problem. But he's still a very young player with a lot to learn. After
what's been a positive start to the season, given the recent run of results, is it now when we've been praising the players, but is it now these sort of times where you find out really what they're made of?
Yeah, you do. It's these sort of times. These are fine margins, and it's about people look at these comments and they ignore them sometimes. If you score the second goal against Fulham, for example, if you don't concede a soft goal against Middlesbrough, all these ifs and buts, that's what makes football. That's what makes the division so intriguing and so compelling for so many people. But the fact is, it is the fine margins, and maybe the margins went our way earlier in the season. Away at Millwall, we get the luck our way. That's how football works. But we've been unfortunate, referee-wise. Again, go back to the game the other night. I thought the red card was very, very harsh. We've had 3 or 4 now. You hope they even themselves out. But in times of adversity, you find out about players, how they respond, professional pride, hunger, desire, anger, etc. You channel it. And we've got a good group of players, nice mix of young and old. I'll keep things fresh. We have to. It's about us. That's about the whole squad. But it's about the whole squad together. It's never about one or a unit or the 11 or the 18. It's about your entire squad working hard together to get the right level of performance and the right results.
Saturday, Derby County away, who lost themselves in midweek but are going strong, particularly at home.
Mm-hmm. And we're going strong away. And we're a good team away from home. I think teams, as I said before, will not let us at our home stadium do what we want to do. I think it's fair to say the only team that really let us do that was Luton in the first half an hour, and we showed what we could do. So teams are going to make it very, very difficult for us. You saw Forest the other night, camped in there. We were stopped with the first goal in terms of our marking. They get 1-0 up, and that was it. They were camped in the last 10 minutes. So it's about us recognising away from home we're good. Derby will have a point to prove in front of their spectators, a very demanding crowd, quite rightly. It's a massive club. And we have to respond, but we can go there knowing that we can deliver performances home and away and look forward to it.
We'll be taking just over 1,000 supporters to Pride Park on Saturday. Given what happened on Wednesday night, I'm sure you and the players will be desperate to give them something to cheer.
Yeah, I always say it, and it's never said as a throwaway remark. I've always recognised the cost, the time implications, what it means to follow your club home and away, and the support's been excellent. It kills me, I said the other night, to be very honest, when we have a bad result at home, when you see the stands empty with 5 to go, 6 to go, that for me is the most depressing sight, because the fans are telling you what they think. There's no booze raining out, but they tell you, and it's quite right. They spend their money. It's expensive to follow your team, and we have a responsibility. When you get paid money as a player and a football coach, manager, whatever, you have a responsibility to the supporters. And the other night, to see their team lose at home, let alone lose heavily, is unacceptable. So the fact, the support's been tremendous for us from the first game. It's been outstanding. So we have that responsibility, and no doubt we have the desire to make them enjoy their away visits. When they go to Stoke, when they go to Sheffield Wednesday, and they go to Mill, they enjoy these type of trips. And the backing we've received has been fantastic. So it's never taken for granted. We have a responsibility. I referred to earlier throughout this interview. Understand that's one of our key responsibilities to our supporters. Make sure they enjoy following their team.